To begin the Shir, and we're continuing in the Mamar on page 332. The Alter Rebbe discussed till now the union of a door, the union of consenting, although a person does not understand, and the consent is that a Yid consents to Hashem, that although the Yid's opinion, the creation's opinion is that this world is the true world, the true entity, the true being, the true substance, and the Mila, the higher world, is something he doesn't understand. And the view of the perspective from above in the higher spheres is that the true entity, the true substance is in the higher world, and this world is of no significance. Still, he consents to Hashem's opinion and stands in a state of Meidem Anachnu Loch, that Hashem, that godliness is the essential, the essence of the whole creation, and it sustains the whole creation, and therefore this is the Meidem Anachnu that we consent to Hashem. The union of consenting is something not necessarily that he understands, as we find it also in Gemara, that it was Meidem Chacham and Rav Meir, that the Chachamim were Meidem, consented to Rav Meir, although they didn't understand what his opinion is, because they couldn't understand the depth of his mind. So therefore, there is also a need that from Meidim it should come down into a bracha, from a haidah, from a consenting it should come down into a bracha and a blessing. What is the concept of a blessing? The concept of a blessing is something that is revealed. Bracha is lashon hamabreches hagefen, drawing down from higher to lower, drawing down, planting something in the ground. So this is a union of drawing down. What does this mean in a person? That it's not sufficient, that a person has only a consent or belief, which is something removed from him, because the belief is something that doesn't necessarily have an influence on the person. As the Gemara brings in Talmud, that Ganda Pumachtar Terachamona Karya, that a Ganef, an evil, a thief, when he steals, he calls the Eibishter. He asks the Eibishter for success. Although l'chaira, it's exactly the opposite of the Ten Commandments. In the Ten Commandments it says a person should not steal. Still, the amunah that he has, that he calls to Hashem, is something that doesn't permeate him, does not penetrate on the person, does not influence the person that he should not steal. The amunah is only that he can call to Hashem, who is higher than nature, higher than the whole creation, and therefore Hashem will help him in his need. So therefore, this is a proof that although there's amunah, there's belief, but it doesn't it doesn't actually permeate the person that the person should stop stealing. It's not drawn down in the personal character traits of the person, in the emotions of the person, in the routine day-to-day behavior of the person, that the person should feel that he has to be different. So therefore, this is the idea of bracha. Bracha means gilui, that it's not sufficient that a person is aware that Lamaila in the higher spheres is the true creation, the true essence, true substance. And here in this world, it is on a lower, there's no significant, there's no actually substantial significance in the creation. It is just existing on the word of Hashem, but it is also needed and expected on the part of the person that a person should also reveal it in that also his character traits, his emotions, his intellect, everything should also be permeated with this view and perspective that this world in its own right is not a true essence, is not a true substance, is actually a substance that is completely existing on the word of Hashem. So this is what a person has to draw down in his daily life, how everything stands in a state of nullification for Hashem. So now the Alter Rebbe continues, V'hinei b'chdei sheyovei. That v'hinei b'chdei sheyovei mibchines heidah libchines bracha, in order that a person should come from the mode, from the format of a status of a door, which means he is consenting. But that's all it is, consenting, remaining still in his neshama, remaining in his mind. Libchines bracha, that he should bring it down in a revealed and an obvious and conscientious way. Sha'hidah hu ascholas atfilah. The heidah, the consenting, is the beginning of tefillah. Ubracha shahu b'shemenesro tachas atfilah. Heidah is the beginning of davening. Beginning of davening is Heidah. We find it, first of all, the day begins with Meid Ani Lefanecha. And then comes after Meid Ani Lefanecha, more in detail, the prayer begins with Heidel Hashem Tiru V'Shmei. The Heidel Hashem Tiru V'Shmei is already the davening itself. And as the Rebbe explains in the Sikha, what is the difference between Heidel Hashem and Meid Ani? The Rebbe says, Meid Ani Lefanecha, he is in a state that he did not yet apply his mind, his emotions, his intellect, because he's before Negovasir. The only thing that he knows is that he has the Eibishter standing right near his bed, as Alter Rebbe writes in Shulchan Aruch, and therefore immediately he gets up to serve the Eibishter. Meid Ani Lefanecha. I thank the Eibishter, I consent to the Eibishter. But it is not yet a revelation of the word Hashem. He is not yet aware and delving and meditating about the greatness of Hashem, because he can't yet. He can't speak about Divrei Torah. He didn't wash his hands yet. He didn't say the blessings of Divrei Torah. So therefore the only thing that he's up to is Meid Ani Lefanecha without mentioning Hashem's name, referring to Hashem as he's higher than a name and a classification, Lefanecha or Melech Chai V'Kayam. So this is the first stage, the beginning of the day. Then comes when a person's already in tefillin and talis and tefillin, so then he can say Heidul Hashem. He can already relate to a revelation of godliness. He's saying Heidul, he's consenting, he's still not on a level of understanding, but it's already Hashem. He's already relating to Hashem. But this is all the beginning of davening. Davening is considered a ladder. A person climbs up the steps, comes to the ultimate part of the davening. The ultimate goal is Shemoneh Esrei, which is the silent prayer that comes, the Shemoneh Esrei. So therefore davening is considered, the prayer is considered a 4-step ladder. You have the Psukei de Zimra, you have a Sestil Baruch Shama, then you have the Psukei de Zimra, then you have the Bichas Krishma, and then you have, then you have the Psukei de Zimra, the Bichas Krishma, Krishma, and Shemoneh Esrei. These are the 4 levels, steps, correspond to the 4 worlds. There is the world of Eilam Hasiya. That's where he starts out. He's looking at the whole creation. He's saying the Hallelu Atzavaya, all the different chapters of Tilim that we say, the Hallelu Hashem and Hashemayim, Hallelu Shir Shir Hashem Shir Chodesh, everything praising Hashem, and how the whole creation, from the perspective of the creation. Then comes Birchas Krishma. He's relating to the Malachim, what's happening in the world of angels. Why does he need that? Because the world of angels is the source of his animal soul. And in order to shake up his own animal soul, he needs to know what's going on there. And when a rope is being shaken on the top part of the rope, so then the whole rope is shaken. So therefore, this also shakes up the nefesh habahamis, the animal soul which is in the person. This brings the next step, which is Shema Krishma, which a person then can come to the stage of Ahavtas Hashem Elokecha, that he actually loves, he could bring himself to love Hashem b'chol levavcha, with all his heart. And as it's mentioned based on Chazal, that levavcha here is 2 basin, referring to the 2 souls in the person, the godly soul and the animal soul. So therefore, this is what leads and results from Birchas Krishma, from the blessings before Krishma, knowing the state of nullification, which the source of the nisham of the nefesh habahamis stands, that then the nefesh habahamis, the animal soul itself, comes to this point, loving Hashem. Eventually, ultimately, it comes to Shemoneh Esrei, which is the level of nullification, full nullification, to the extent that when he comes before Krishma, before Shemoneh Esrei, he can't even open his mouth. And he says, Hashem svasai tiftach. The Eibishter should open up his lips, because he is standing like a servant in front of his master. So this is what the Rebbe is pointing at, the 2 points. One is a door. This is the point where, for example, somebody's in the dark. The only thing he can do is he can consent. He doesn't see it with his own eyes. He doesn't see it with his own intellect. It's consenting, Meida. Then comes bracha, that already it's revealed. He already drew it down in his traits, in his emotions, intellect. So the Rebbe says, what is the midpoint between Heidah and bracha? Hine ha-memutza bein bracha leidah aveda de v'ahavta. The memutza, the midpoint between the bracha, blessing, and Heidah, consenting, is aveda v'ahavta. Sha'ahava hu ha-memutza bein